Hello from COP26 here in Glasgow, where I'm delighted to be joined by Stientje van Veldhoven, who is the Vice President of the World Resources Institute, a global think tank working on nature and development, and by our Vice President from the European Investment Bank, Ambroise Fayolle, who also very much is in that zone of climate and development. Thanks both of you for joining us. Let me ask you, if I may, Stientje, first of all, biodiversity and nature is very high up on the agenda here at COP26, but is it all a bit too late?
Well, I would say it's high time, and I would definitely want to commend the UK presidency that have really given this crucial topic very much focus at this COP. So it is high time. There is an enormous relationship between climate, biodiversity, and basically our livelihood on this planet. So it is fantastic to see at this COP that this is so linked. I think we still have a lot of work ahead of us, but it's fantastic that it has been given such a profile here at this COP in Glasgow.
But Vice President, we shouldn't underestimate, should we, the starkness of the picture as well?
Well, when you say isn't it too late? It is too late for some species. And the fact is, the urgency of moving on biodiversity has never been that high. And we have the potential, if we move now and big, to slow down or even reverse some trends that we have seen on biodiversity. So that's why we need to move. And I think we, at the Bank of the European Union, we have understood this challenge, and we are intending to move quickly on. We have decided already to strengthen considerably our ambition in terms of moving to the EU Climate Bank, basically increasing significantly the volume of our activity that is for climate action and environmental sustainability. And we intend also to move very quickly, not only on Paris alignment of our projects, which is what we are doing, but on Paris alignment of counterparts. That is something that we are also intending to put in place in 2022, has been announced here in Glasgow. And I think this is the combination of these things that we need to move really, really rapidly. And the thing that I'm listening here in Glasgow and that I find very encouraging is that the links between the climate agenda and the biodiversity agenda are bigger. And you see people now, nobody is ignoring that biodiversity has to be on top of the agenda now.
Absolutely. So they're saying the right thing, but what about the actual concrete initiatives? Stientje, what do you want to see actually happening, also from institutions like the EIB?
Well, I think we absolutely need action from all actors, right? We need action on the ground, we need action from action groups, we need action from policymakers, we need action from research institutes to find out where the real issues are that we can make the biggest difference, because we need to speed up also if we want to reverse in time. And of course, we also very much need the financial institutions, because money makes the world go round. And it's also fantastic to see that the EIB is indeed such a leader in this field, because we also see very much signs of hope. We already see that we can restore, like you said, biodiversity. We can restore the earth, and that is actually a very positive agenda. We can restore the earth, reversing the threat, not just for nature itself, not just for the animals itself, but for people, because nature is our very livelihood. And so it is crucial that we tackle these two major challenges really hand in hand, and the financial institutions have a very, very crucial role to play. So I'm really happy with the role that the EIB is playing there.
And yet, if I may say, it's not as easy as, for example, mobilizing finance for a wind farm, is it? It's a more complicated prospect for an institution like the EIB.
It is more complicated, it is true. It has specificities that for nature-based solutions that require more work or different kind of work, different profitability, but the needs are huge and we don't have any choice. So actually what we are trying to do at EIB is both financing or contributing to financing to big initiatives. Let me just give you two examples. We are providing 1 billion euros to the Great Green Wall, which is, in Africa, trying to make sure that there is going to be reforestation, and that is key for biodiversity. Yeah? And the other initiative that we have contributed, Oceans, is also part of it. And we have an initiative that we have actually signed in Bali at before the pandemic with the German, the French, the Spanish, and the Italian public development banks. That is called the Clean Ocean Initiative. That is to promote projects that are dealing with cities, with problems of plastic, basically, in the ocean, and wastewater that is created with that. We had 2 billion euros in the plan. It is after 2 years, it is basically consumed. So the needs are there, and the initiatives are there, and we need just to make sure that we speedily go ahead with financing projects favoring nature.
The Vice President mentioned cities. Now, that's not necessarily something you would associate with work on biodiversity and nature, and yet the WRI is rather involved in that. Do we need to step up in that area? How can we do it?
Yes, absolutely. If you look towards the future, 2.5 billion more people will be living in cities, and cities play a crucial role, right? Cities play a role in the way they are laid out. Are we building parking places or are we building parks? One will add to air pollution and climate change and human health problems. The other will help to cool the city, will retain water, will store water. So we have real choices in the way we lay out our cities. But then cities are also surrounded, right? How the city deals with its surrounding wetlands, with its surrounding forests. Cities have a great influence. And then cities have a great influence in the way that cities use resources on forests far away, right? So cities are crucial for making choices. And the City for Forest program that WRI has indeed tackles this in 65 cities already around the world. And I think with the pledges made here at COP, right, we're going to hold deforestation. We're going to use more nature-based solutions because nature actually has the most intelligent solutions, right? We need to use that much more, and we need the financing to actually get that going. So, and I think cities can absolutely play a great role.
Can I just add to what Stientje just said, and I completely agree with you. A word on Africa, because the question of cities is in particularly key for Africa.
Yeah.
And what we have launched here with the support from the German and the Luxembourg governments, and we are co-doing that with the World Bank. Really, it's a shared initiative that there will be a one-stop shop for cities who want. I mean, this is very complicated for poor cities. That you need an early stage preparation for these strategies, and we have an instrument for that which is called the Gap Fund. And when you want, well, you just come to the Gap Fund to look at a combination of energy, its transport, its water, its wastewater. I mean, it's very complex for these cities that are growing very quickly. And we are sure that by providing support for an early stage assessment on the needs, on how to deliver that, we'll be able to make a difference.
Absolutely. It's not just about the money, it's also about the technical assistance, which seems to be an increasingly important part of our response. Just finally, both of you, we're 5 years on from the Paris Agreement. To what extent do you think the message has now really got through that you can't deal with nature and biodiversity, climate action on their own? They're intrinsically linked.
Well, I think the message at this COP was very, very clear. And I think everybody has heard it here. If you haven't heard it here, you haven't listened, right? It's there. And if we look back 5 years and we can see where we have come from Paris, right? We see that we've made immense progress. I hope in 5 years we'll be able to see that we've made the same immense progress on the combination and the link between climate and nature. And I think every stage has been set here at the COP. And now it's the Monday morning meeting, making sure that we start to implement, because the real result of this COP, the real success of this COP will depend on its implementation. And I think instruments like the Gap Fund are crucial in helping all of those people that will be living in all of those cities to live in a greener environment. And I'd like to compliment EIB for setting up this fund.
Wouldn't add anything to what Stientje just said.
Last word to the lady. Thank you very much, both of you, and thanks to those of you watching. See you soon.